Lord, from kupos, kuros, supremacy, supreme in authority, controller, a respectful title. To rule, have dominion over, exercise lordship over, to be lord of, to rule, have dominion over of things and forces, to exercise influence upon, to have power over. Kuriakos is lords. Now if Jesus is Lord and his Father is Lord and the words, Baal, Adonai, Jehovah, Rabbi are all Master, Sustainer, Lord, then the fact is there is more than one person called Lord, making lords more than one, or all them are one? Baalim is plural, but the red print of the New Testament in the book of Luke 6:5, Jesus said, and he, Jesus, said unto them, Pharisees, that the Son of Man, himself, is Lord also of the Sabbath. So this word is the same as the Hebrew Yahweh in Genesis 2:1-3, this is Elohim gods. So one of them called Yahweh claims the position of Lord of the Sabbath. Now in Exodus 20:10-11, it makes it clear that this Elohim was in fact the or a Lord as it claims in verse 10 in part, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Yahweh, Lord, thy Elohim, gods. Now in Genesis 2:4, is the first time we see Yahweh, but it's with Elohim. As Yahweh Elohim the Lord God, which should be the Lord of the gods, titled Yahweh, Lord, or as the Greeks translated it from Hebrew to the best Greek word, Kyrios of Luriakos, meaning Lord, Master. Now in Akkadian, it would be Baal, in Chaldean it's Adonai, and in Sumerian it's En, and many are called En. So in fact, Yahweh is also a plural, Yahvim. And in Genesis, we have two brothers, one Patah, Nudimud, Enki, the oldest, and Bes, Nunamir, and Lil, the younger by the same father and, Anu, but by two different mothers. The first son by Nina, Id, and the second son by Antu, Entum. Both brothers have the prefix An or in Egypt Neb for master, Lord on their attributes, so both would be Yahweh. However, the separation does not come in until Genesis 2:4. Before that point from Genesis 1:1 through Genesis 2:3, we only have Elohim, gods, judges. Each would also be called El. And in time that became the name of many gods, but one in particular. As did Yahweh, Psalm 82:1-8, and man could be made Elohim, Exodus 7:1. Also, Exodus 32:1-4, and also online Bible Strong's number 113 Adonai. Exodus 32:22, Aaron the prophet called Moses, my Lord, and in the Hebrew you find Adonai. Also, in Genesis 18:12, Sarah called Abraham my Lord, and the Hebrew word for Lord in this verse is also online Bible Strong's number 113 for Adonai. Then you have Shaddai, Almighty, who is also an Elohim, as found in Genesis 17:1, under online Bible Strong's number 7706, Shaddai, meaning Almighty, most powerful, from the root online Bible Strong's number 7703, Shadad meaning spoil, to be burly, powerful. Now look at online Bible Strong's number 7700 Shade, meaning devil, demon, taken from the root online Bible Strong's number 7736, Sud, meaning, to waste, ruin, destroy, devastate. So you see Shaddai is any and all Yahweh or Neb, En. But, again El Shaddai is from Chaldean El of the mountain, who became a being with that attribute son of Kumarbi, whose consort was Astaroth among others. Astaroth was the daughter of Shamsh, twin brother to Apsu, two sun gods or Elohim. Also, Yah-Ian lords, Balan masters. So there is a right Yah good and an evil way, or good and bad Yahwehs like Elohim. The Quran calls it Rabbi Yuona, translated by some as a myriad of men, but actually means many lords. Many were praying to the wrong Jehovah. So I said I could tell because we got no help. So Sills and Woods got help from their Elohim, Yahweh, Jehovah, the Canaanite Lord God. Not our own. We called El Elyon using the letter Aleph, when we should have used Ayin. And how did it happen? Because we used English and not the original tongue. So 1 Chronicles 21:1-2 and 2 Samuel 24:1-2, Lord and Satan is one and the same. The ones David and Solomon got mixed up by mixing with the Canaanites and took to their Elohim, lords, gods, Yahwehs, Adonais and Baals. The word got mixed up with the Israelites, Ishmaelites and Canaanites. A real Allah and a fake one, a real Yahayu or Yahweh and a fake one and so on. Just as Cain in Genesis 4:13-16, had his own Enoch in Genesis 4:17, to mix up with the real Enoch in Genesis 5:18, from Seth Genesis 4:25-26 and Seth's son Enos and his tribe Enosites called on Jehovah, Yahweh the Lord. So they mixed up the gods, lords, messiahs, modus, prophets, you name it. They will redress it. Now the word Satan in Hebrew online Bible Strong's number 7854, sought on, From the root, Satan, Strong's number 7853 means, to attack an opponent, adversary. Yes, Bess and Lil became the adversary at one time. The Old Testament never uses Satan as a spirit force, only an evil person or group as the Quran 2:14 uses it. Shaitan is a plural, more than one, and from the race of jinn, who are humans, Jeremiah 22:7. So adversary or the devil is found in 1 Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Or found in John 8:44, the devil is their father, or a fallen angel or Anunnaki. Look at deity and devil, both 5 letters. How it became the blazing star, evil or live, devil or lived, Isaiah 7:18, the Lord hiss, Quran 114, Can is the whisperer, hiss. Even the Torah of the Hebrews did not know of the devil, Satan as one being of evil but many evil people. So any who went against Re, Anu were against Nibiru, heaven, and became the adversary, Satan. So Bess and Lil acted as a Satan at one time. Ptah, Enki also acted as Satan at one time. As any of you get away from the spookism, the Mosesism, Christism, Mohammedism, the 3 degrees of religion, that's what makes you all think the devil, the Satan, and not it's an attribute or a title. Look for the meanings of words, names, to understand what and how I teach. And the books I translated I called Els, this because they are about El or Elah, Elohim. So you get El's Holy Torah, El's Holy Injil, El's Holy Quran. While I was teaching that I became Nea, Malachi Zodok York El. Also, we used Al-Yun El. You also have Mikal, who can be like El. Not who can be like Al? The Most High, to ask the question would be impossible. So, who can be like El? This El is Psalm 82:1, and can be Ptah, Bess, not Re. It's not even a question. So the books that were given to humans by Gabriel from El Bible, Quran, the 4 L's is the 4 winds. It is El Rahman, El Rahim. Because it's the letter Alif, not Ayin, and it's about Allah, which is Ella, Elo. Step by step I walk those who want the truth, not just to look good or smart to others. Some Peters, Pauls, Judases have the wrong teacher. I am not for their ego to make them control listeners. I teach right knowledge the way I always did, Quran 18:60. Now, most people don't really over or understand this message. Also David failed it, Psalm 110:4, Jesus failed it, Hebrew 5:5-6, 10, Hebrew 7:1-2, Abraham failed it, Genesis 14:18-22, and Moses failed it, Quran 18:60. And why did they fail? Because they used their mind, their reasoning, their interpretations, their understanding, their ego, their, I want to be praised, their I must look right to rule minds and become what I am not by nature, great. They did not know the mind of their teacher. They tried to use his teachings their own way and got confused, mixed up, babble, because they could not wait until the teacher finished clearing up things as he was asked to do. No, they ran ahead of other students to look good. Now they must go back and find the fish they lost in the river, because they did not do as they were told. But they will never walk beside me, nor sit at my feet, as Paul, Peter, Judas did, each in their own way. Judas betrayed him, never accepted him. Paul pretended to be his student when in fact he really wanted to be him. Peter sat with him, but questioned every little thing until he fell in the water. Now you all look at these 3 and see which sandal fits your foot. If none, then keep walking with me. If all, go do your own thing, it will backfire. The Holy Tablets chapter 6, Tablet 6, 581-582, so Nakash could not have been a serpent originally, because a serpent crawled on its belly, and furthermore, the devil and Halal are one and the same. The creature called Nakash is comparative to the babbler. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. Slandering and lying is as the venom, it is a character or characteristics of the serpent. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, they are like the deaf otter that stop her ear. The picture of a snake and an apple in the scriptures is a deception and pure fabrication by Canas. What is light? I have always heard people say or refer to the light. I gathered from them that the light, now or meant knowledge or truth. So I continued to listen patiently until I could examine this for myself, so I started by 1. Analyze equals that which it is composed of, its characteristics and where it came from. 2. Evaluate equals the functions it provides, and how it interacts with its environment. 3. Comparative equals what it closely resembles, and its counterpart. 4. Categorize equals place a value on it, determine the priority in which it should be held. After I gathered all this information, I came to the point in which I could finally define light. Light means, without measure, or short-lived, without substance, lacks sustainment, failure to continue as was, all things without self-illumination is to be considered light, that which is not really real. Some will say that my findings are not true, that their Bible or Quran says, light is God, or light is Allah, or light is good. Why? Because in their Bible Genesis 1, and God said let there be light. Strong's number 216, was good. Strong's number 2896 Toby, or is Chaldean not Hebrew, and it really means shine, fire, kindle. It also means brightness. In the Quran it is broken into two forms, nur light and nar fire. So they are mistaken when they say light is good or knowledge only. So that's not facts or truth what they say. It's their belief. It's your right to believe whatever you may wish, but you will not be able to support your argument on the fact that light travels 186,272 miles per second. So it is with measure. Light is reflected, it does not really travel. The Apsu, Shamsh, Shamsa, Sol, sun for instance, shines the same amount of light in all directions, but it is only dark when that arch is facing the sun. And we all know Pa-Tan and the earth rotates on its 23-degree axis, as it orbits around the sun. So the light did not travel, it's you who traveled. Since it is absent from your consciousness you thought it left. So you call it the night time or night, when in fact the sun's light still shines. You are standing in the shadow and each hour would make it without light, unless we say total darkness. So what is illumination? So light can be measured. Illumination on the other hand is a state in which thought ascends from the unknown to the known. Nothing rises out of this state, it just is. It does not shine forth, so it is itself or that which is desired. This journey is known to be the illumination or enlightenment. Illumination is still thought to be on a journey or traveling, yet in fact it glows not shines forth. You come to it, it does not come out at you. Yet, I still call it a journey inward or the ability to travel inward as opposed to light which travels outward, seeking dark to master. Yet, illumination is more like a shift in consciousness. At this moment an object becomes defined, seeable, lit up. When illumination or a thought first appears, it travels within a shell of confinement and separation, hardening itself with the desires that aren't its own. The states it encounters alone, its unfolding maneuvers in a direction that takes it to a point in which it can achieve birth. It's these states in which it loosens itself and becomes attached to other ideas and concepts. These states that thoughts encounter are by the characteristics of its movement, to define them in terms of labels and titles, love, hate, pride, joy, pain, etc. The door to these states is always open, although our attention to them may vary to our sensitivity or our awareness of ourselves and our environments. These states that all thinkers travel through to reach the cavern, crown, or the ultimate state, a state in which thought exists without name or real label. This state does not condition because it is the conditioner and requires nothing but expression. This is the level in which an individual becomes totally free from the parasite nature of desire, not will. Now, back on the subject of light, the difference is easily seen. As long as you are within these states you are in an emotional perdition such as suffering, death, birth, and rebirth of that emotion whatever its title may be continuously. In a state such as this you become infatuated or infected with its characteristics. We recognize these changes as mood swings. Such as change in emotions, I think I love her or him, because of this or that human reason. I'm enlightened by them, they shine forth at me. They look good, they sound good, smell good. Light not illumination takes over on this journey. You get blinded by emotional light, hampered or sidetracked due to the loss the mind suffers, and true feelings die or their internal illumination starts to burn out. It then seeks to recover a phantom, something. It's never lost in the first place, it recognizes the state, but it does not recognize the moment in which it entered, making it to believe that it has continued on. But in reality, it is still within the states. It does not recognize the moment it enters, because it is more concerned with the bliss or the elevation of its senses, love, hate, pride, joy, pain, jealousy, etc. Thus, we get the feeling of being in love for example. So it attaches itself to the crystallized form of the illumination, the light, hoping to regain its former glory, or the state which it thought it lost. Since it knows that it cannot continue its existence being incomplete or not whole. Each of these states has a projected an image only seen in reflection and the object which closely resembles itself in character that will be the crystallized image, image, it portrays. These images change as your surroundings change or what you become aware of on a universal scale. These states exist, but they are embodied in the 12 signs of the original zodiacs, correlating to the 10 planets thought to form the 4 elements or winds and north, south, east, west. As the functions of the mind represent different aspects of awareness, the two sides of dualism, which is really one, the truth and its reflection. Light dark, day shadow, the changer of consciousness. The moon, which is the third body, 1, sun, 2, earth, 3, moon. Knowing this, the very essence of the mind is to define thought to the consciousness, to translate the language an object speaks. If consciousness is related to awareness, man defines himself and others by being the thinker. But are thought and thinker so much different? You are always aware of thought even when you are not purposely thinking it. And when you identify yourself as the thinker, you only change your position in the equation from observer to actor. When you identify yourself as the thinker and not the originator of thought in motion, the preserver and the thought in motion at its moment of expression becomes the destroyer. The Holy Tablets Chapter 1, Tablet 529. This great planet-sized ship, Nibiru, came nearer to your solar system, traveling at the speed of light, 186,272 miles per second. Yet is found to be exactly 186,282.396 miles per second, or 299,792.458 kilometers per second.